Perfect.
Is this
Yeah,
better?
Much better, Ryder.
it's a flaw that I was thinking of putting in to make the to make the experience more fun for myself and maybe others as well.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you're willing to do that with a sort of flaw for your character. All right, and the last item I have on the agenda for tonight for a session 0 and campaign setup is I like to include players in world building. I have some pretty rough ideas for the archipelago continent, but I would like to get some stuff from you guys. So why doesn't everyone give me tell me something briefly about where your character comes from? And I promise, guys, this isn't all like just me like asking you random shit. I promise all of this will come up. I'm going to use all of your ideas and all of your input. Like I'm not like pumping you randomly just to inflate my ego. I'm going to use all of this.
Dense jungle forest. Think of like what you probably see fantasy drawn when it comes to Aztec or Mayans, where there's like stone temples inside of very deep, dense forest with jaguars, snakes, all kinds of animals. And then, of course, on those temples, you will see bloodstains as people have been sacrificed to their gods, people or animals. Yeah.
Okay, that's intense and dark.
That's their race.
All right. Ashy?
Wait, are we describing just a part of the world or where we're from in the world?
Where you are from, where your character's from.
Okay. My character is from. Do I have to pick like a cardinal direction or?
No, just give me a general anything. It can be a town, it can be a region, just anything. Like, what does your character picture? Tell me what your character pictures when they think of home.
Caverns full of books. Just caverns, wall to ceiling. Floor to ceiling, books. Everywhere. Scrolls. You name it. Like, they took a mountain and they turned it into a library.
Yeah, I was about to say like an underground library.
So, you know those churches in their underground areas in Italy that are just full of bones? Instead of that, you have books.
Yep.
A catacomb of books.
Yes.
I love it. All right. Next, Rokus.
Well, the general idea of where my character comes from is like, imagine like medieval Japan. And it's like it's like a region which is like split up into 4 different clans, and like all those clans are fighting over power, kind of thing.
Cool.
And the clan he's from is basically like a mix of all 3. So that's where the samurai idea comes from. Like, yeah.
I like it. Ryder.
Yes. Picture like a small to medium-sized island that's not entirely inhabited. Mostly the only thing that lives on there is a small fishing village that keep to themselves. But the people themselves are highly religious and they worship the gods and offer sacrifices and boons to the gods. They could even be like kind of behind the times of everyone else.
Nice.
So like Cuba.
Cuba. Yeah, Cuba sounds good.
Trev.
My character is from the roving plains near a desert that his people have been warring over with the human faction in the desert for years and years. That region knows like only war for the most part. The elves there are very warlike elves.
Awesome. All right, now I would like each of you to tell me something that has happened in the history of the world in our game. This can be recent or ancient history, but it should be, not like something that happened yesterday.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I was kind of distracted.
Sorry, it's something that has happened during the course of the history of the world in our game. So it can be recent or ancient history. Probably shouldn't have happened yesterday. So you can just make up anything that has happened during our history.
How grand can it be?
As grand as you want it to be.
The world has been shaped by nuclear attacks. Or is that too grand?
I mean, obviously to a certain point, since we're trying to aim for a high fantasy.
Okay, fireballs.
There you go.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that was a joke. I don't know.
Too bad she already read it down. Okay, take it back.
No, I take it back.
No back excuse.
No, there's a lot of
Ryder,
backseat.
stop pestering.
No backseas doesn't apply in my world.
Alright, so you're thinking of like you can see like remnants of an ancient war? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, maybe it's something like that. Like a
Areas where the world is scarred by it?
yeah, it's like there was like a massive war. And it's like yeah, basically some of the land is maybe scarred by it.
Maybe the people had too much knowledge for their own good and like had the ability to use magic at devastating levels, like world-ending levels, and the fight that broke out over that knowledge destroyed the world to a degree and destroyed that knowledge, or the knowledge disappeared, maybe.
I like it. And so this would be in very ancient times, such that you guys have sort of, the world has sort of rebuilt and moved on. And you may encounter sort of remnants or ruins of this, but the world has rebuilt and is like a new world from there, right? Is that what you're thinking? Carlos, tell me something that has happened in the history of our world.
Well, first, let me ask, how is the world structured? It's one big landmass, right?
No, it's continents. You guys are headed currently to an archipelago continent. So
Okay, and as far as those continents, is it like, are there kings, queens, democracy? Are there multiple different ones? Like,
honestly, outside of the archipelago continent of Estra, there's whatever you guys want there to have been.
gotcha. Mm, Let's say a war. Why not? Between core humanoidish races and monstrous races. Keep it simple.
All right. Ryder?
Yeah. Huh. I like pirates. Let's have not a lot of pirates, but like maybe 3 or 4 group of pirates, and not restricted to like water pirates. Maybe there's some land pirates too that they can and will
So
recruit.
pirates sort of uh so some time ago pirates sort of had a booming period over not just water but land.
Yes. And it's starting to die down, but they're still kind of embracing their thing, and they recruit from the people that they steal or kill.
Maybe the pirates are getting desperate.
Yes.
Right? If it's starting to sort of that way of life is starting to sort of die out.
That sounds perfect.
Cool. Trev.
I'm thinking of something like centuries ago, it's believed that the chromatic dragonflights won the long war against the other dragonflights.
Interesting. And that's why they're so much more common, and it's rare to see a metallic or other sort of dragon these days, right?
Exactly.
Can we not give mixed dragons?
But I
Ah,
loves
well.
the dragons. They're my number one.
Ryder's just salty. I may or may not have thrown dragons with all kinds of cool stuff at them on Tuesday.
Yeah, dragons are my number one fantasy creature.
I love dragons. Dragons are amazing. They're my number 2 only because the phoenix is like my personal sigil. I have one on my shoulder, a tattoo.
Can I build on top of Trev's
Anyway,
and allow you to bring in your cool dragons from that one shot?
I already have an idea for that.
Okay.
We're gonna I'm not gonna go into this too deep, but my mind is percolating. So now I would like everyone to tell me a prophecy that someone in the past has made about this world that has not yet come true.
But the world?
Okay.
Yeah.
Depression.
It can be completely overarching or it can be as simple as anything. It can be completely simple, it can be completely overarching, it can be
Hmm.
Huh.
Okay, I am back. Sorry about that.
it is all good.
Hmm.
What's all the thinking noises about?
I've asked everyone to come up with a prophecy that someone at some point has made that has not yet been filled.
I was about to copyright an idea.
Do you want it to be like prophecy worded, or do you just want like the idea of one?
It can be the idea of one because, I mean, it may have been in any language, passed down over time. So,
The rise of dragons. Maybe? Like maybe there was a prophecy that someday like dragons would return to the plane.
should say that. Nah, that's a good one. Cool.
When the gods begin to fight, the human realm will suffer for it. Or what's the plane? Material plane. However you want to word that.
I like it. Thank you.
When the lost heir returns, the man shall bring peace and light to the land.
Sorry, can you repeat it?
I'll type it to you.
Thank
I
you.
think it
I'm
was just the very
sorry.
I think it was just the very first word that got cut out.
Yeah.
It's when something returns.
Sorry, Ryder.
I don't know if Meg's lagging or she's just really tired because she's talking like this.
That would probably be my phone.
Oh, okay.
Better?
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Ashi and Trev.
Yeah, I'm thinking for some reason I'm stuck on dragons and I want something different.
Yeah.
Wyverns.
How
Yes,
about a small prophecy? Like something that's not world shattering.
Small prophecies are good.
I can't think of one though. Ooh.
Listen to-
No, go ahead.
No, go.
Go.
Will someone go?
No, you first, sir. I have said my idea. Tis your go,
Okay.
sir.
All right, fine, I guess. When shadows block the stars, many must become one.
Ooh.
I like it.
What does that mean? So many questions.
I
The
could just,
numbers, Mason.
I could just see the common person look out and be like, it's a cloudy night! Ah!
Turns out it's just like a solar eclipse or something. And we all just try to hold hands as a world. Stop the shadows.
Yeah, I was just gonna. Never mind.
Hmm?
It's a stupid idea.
There's no
I
such
love
thing as
No
There's
idea
no
is
such
stupid.
All right. When a group of travelers finds a treasure called One Piece, they will rule the world.
I like it.
You gotta do it, Megs. We open the treasure chest and it says friendship inside. You gotta do it.
No.
And then I quit.
So many hours. So many hours. Don't.
And it is at that moment the party went insane and killed each other.
Friendship?
I don't even like these people. Which, incidentally, is the correct thing to respond whenever someone tells you that the real treasure is the friends you make along the way. Anyway.
But I hate these guys.
I think what I'm gonna go with is when the fallen moon rises again, so shall the dead rise with it.
I love it.
Dark, man. Dark.
What does that mean? Any questions?
All right. You guys are kind of creepy.
Hey, my one wasn't creepy.
I mean,
was
mine was all
awesome.
about peace and light. Jeez.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
mine was about dragons. Fucking dragons.
Mine was
And
just
the
vaguely ominous.
right, that's all. And my last world building question, tell me one thing I didn't know yet about the continent of Ashtura, where you guys are headed.
Oh.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, is there a reason we're all traveling together, or we just all happen to be on this boat for our own reasons?
Y'all just on a boat.
Okay, so our reasons are our own.
Exactly. Any of
Okay.
you who happen to know each other, otherwise you just booked passage on the same boat.
Okay.
We're on a boat. We're
That's
on a
one of the
boat.
reasons that you'll will be spending some time in the campaign on the boat, is to sort of create a party out of some people who are on a boat.
Mhm. Okay.
Look at us, motherfucker.
Okay,
we're on a
serious
boat.
answer. To your question. One Piece is not friendship.
Uh,
Actually, to be honest, I'm so tired I forgot the question.
Tell me one thing I didn't know yet about the continent of Ashtura, where you guys are headed.
Okay.
well, try not to go to cliche with it.
Something you weren't expecting?
Whether I was expecting it, just something I did not know.
You as a GM or like a person going to the continent?
Um,
As the
Either
world
or.
builder.
right.
In other words, just make up something and give it to her.
Pretty much, yeah.
In this continent, every single city, whether it be major, minor, a town, an establishment of any kind, will always have at least 2 or 3 restaurants that are impeccable. This continent prizes itself on the best food around.
Ooh.
Have you been talking to crew? What's going on here?
No, I was just trying to think of something that would occur every day in terms of city, but that most players don't touch on. So I'm like, you know what? Everyone goes to the bars, but never talk about the food. So let's make it a talking point.
So let's all go for
I like
shawarma.
it.
Alpaca farming.
Okay.
It's one of its trade sources. They farm
Is it
alpacas.
one of, or is it its main trade?
Let's do the main.
I thought the main trade was pie.
I guess now it's alpaca farming.
Nice.
Great. Now we're gonna have to ride alpacas instead of horses. Great.
Can you even ride alpacas? Aren't they like...
You can ride anything if you put your mind to it. I think.
Was that a sex joke?
I mean,
No.
it is now that you said that.
Take it how you want it.
Alright, Google, can you ride alpacas? Only children.
Ryder, don't Google that. You're gonna get your name on a list.
Only children. Anything larger will seriously do damage to their back.
I've got an idea.
Okay.
A certain amount of time, like, for example, all right, let's say like six times a year, a comet flies past the plains, which you can see only from that continent, and the continent basically celebrates the comet flying past and calls it the Festival of the Comet.
I like it. Like a special holiday only had on this continent. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
There's a super crazy sports game that everyone gets really into, and all the islands compete, and there's like a league every year or something, and everyone gets really into the rivalries.
Oh man.
I like it.
We all happen to be dressed a certain color, and a whole island hates us because it's their rival's color.
Oh man.
Good thing I don't wear clothes.
Oh yeah, good thing.
I mean, I've got a thick fur, so
What color
Listen-
is your fur? Your fur is sort of
Gray.
a grayish black
That's
color.
a color, man.
yeah, right.
You know that's the color of the dolphins.
Screw the
Jack-
Dolphins.
We're the Jaguar fans over here, man.
All right, Trev, what you got for me?
The continent is celebrating the recent abolishment of slavery.
Hmm.
Nice.
Nice.
Wait, so that means that people are gonna be awkward and stuff because we're probably gonna be arriving, and there's still gonna be adjustments. There's probably gonna be segregation of some kind.
Political uprisings.
So kind of like the
Why?
U.S. once slavery was abolished, but people were still obviously racist.
And we're also going to have to take into account how did it get abolished. I like this. You guys have given me a ton to work with.
What
So there's
races
gonna
were
be, like-
enslaved?
Celebrations and protests day after day.
Yeah. Well, this has gone super much longer than I had expected. I had one more thing planned for tonight. It should take normally about a half hour. I don't know how tired or how done anyone is.
I am
It's
absolutely
a
fine.
travel montage. You are? Does anyone
Yes.
want to do a travel montage?
Sure.
What is that?
So,
Can I get like 5 minutes?
For the
oh yeah,
script.
absolutely. Let's take a pee break or whatever break you need. But for me, it's going to be a pee break. But do you guys want to come back and do a travel montage when we're done?
Sure.
Okay,
And I will
cool.
teach you guys how I do montages and travel over.
For the scrubs, me. Could you explain what a travel montage is?
I will explain when we, right after break when we're all a little more focused because I super gotta go potty.
Like,
Be right back.
have fun.
I'll be back.
Yeah, as well.
Or ping me or something. Bye.
I'm back.
Welcome
Hello.
back.
Welcome back.
Who are we still missing?
I'm back.
I'm not hearing Rokus or Trev.
I'm here.
Amazing.
I was talking to myself because I was muted,
Oh,
basically.
that was out of nowhere. That was super cool.
I love that.
I've had this really annoying stomach ache like all night.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I know. It's really annoying, you know.
Yeah.
You know. I'm actually pretty hyped for this session.
Same.
For the campaign.
I am really appreciating everyone being so engaged in a session that's mostly like talking about what we're going to do. And like I'm sure this tonight has been relatively boring. I promise it will be worth it. All of your input will really help me tailor it. Jesus Christ, tailor it for everyone. I just really want to make this something that is specific to the enjoyment of the players. And now that I know what everyone's expectations are and kind of you all know what kind of GM I am so excited to run a game for you guys. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, just a question. Are you one of those DMs really, really stick to the rules? Or are you like lenient about some of the
My thing is that the rules should serve the role play. So things like encumbrance and ammo tracking and things that really just serve to bog down the game, as long as it's not like ridiculous. Like you're not going to put a God damn it, Carlos, you have ruined my one example for this.
What did I do?
Ryder, what do I always say when I'm talking about encumbrance?
An anvil?
No, I
People
always
pick a
say
ballista,
you're
didn't
not
you?
going to put a siege engine in your pocket.
Oh.
Literally, that's what I say to people. And then I just realized, crap, Carlos put a siege engine in his pocket.
Well, I mean, it was warranted. No.
Without
So-
magic.
Right. Barring a shrink spell.
I'm back.
Hi, Trev. In most instances, you're not going to put a siege engine in your pocket. But other than that, I'm not super big on, like, rules that just serve to bog down. I think that the rules should serve the roleplay and not tailor the roleplay to the rules. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And did that answer your question? Or was there a specific
Yes.
instance you had in mind?
No. That is fine.
Cool.
Just a psychological question about the shrink spell. If you shrink something really heavy, does it stay heavy? Because all you're doing is shrinking the size, not the weight.
For that spell specifically, it lowers the weight as well.
Yeah, okay.
And I can, like, it also gave as an example, I could shrink people. So if we needed to get out of somewhere and our fighter was unconscious, I would be able to shrink him too.
Okay.
or her.
Cool. So the way I run, there are times in a campaign where you don't want to just hand wave and say, okay, you go from point A to point B. And there are times, you don't want to run a bunch of random lame, you fight a bunch of woes, and you don't want to run 45 skill checks. And so how I handle that is I turn it into a narrative event that I call a montage. And so how we're going to do this is we're going to do it, one of you will come up with a complication that happens during the first couple of weeks at sea. I'm going to pick on Ryder because Ryder is my guinea pig and Ryder lets me pick on her and she's super handy that way.
Oh god, I mean,
So I'm going to say, okay, then I'm going to pick on Carlos because Carlos is also mostly used to being picked on by me at this point. So I'm going to pick on Carlos and say, Carlos, you guys have been at sea for a couple of days. You're going to come up with a complication that happens. You're going to tell me what the complication is. You're not going to tell me how you guys solved it. Carlos, you're going to popcorn it. You're going to name someone else. And that person is going to tell me how the complication gets solved. And then the person that you pick is going to, after they solve your complication, and it doesn't have to be their character. It can be any character. It can be however it gets solved. They're going to come up with another complication. And we're going to go around a couple rounds until we have a nice little montage of the travel scenes that happen in the first week or two at sea. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it turns, instead of boring random encounter table or silly skill checks, it turns it into a narrative and collaborative storytelling event. Does everyone get it?
Sounds good.
I find it fun and I find it a lot better to show A, the passing of time, and B, make it something that we're all engaged in and going on with instead of just sort of shoehorning encounters. So Carlos, tell me about a complication that happened and then choose someone to tell me how the party solved it.
Okay, so after leaving port and being at sea for a couple of days, we ran into creatures that were very far away from the boat, but always within eyesight for a few days. They just observed. Then we began hearing songs that began attracting people, and a few of the people on the boat, aside from the main party, actually threw themselves overboard being attracted to the songs. And I will choose Ashi.
Oh, God. Okay. So I can deal with the compulsion pretty easily by casting Calm Emotions myself, but that doesn't solve the larger issue of the strange beasts following us that are presumably sirens. Tricky. I guess once people start throwing themselves off, I cast Calm Emotions and try to make sure no one does that anymore. And then this isn't just my character, right? I'm describing what everyone does.
Yeah, so you can say that I do something or that Trev does something.
Yep, you are describing how the party solved the problem.
Okay. So once we've stopped people throwing themselves off the ship, I guess we should try to see what the creatures want as a party. Oh, someone has a flying broom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe would your character fly out to go see what these creatures are?
Yeah, like you said, like Mike said, you're choosing how we solve it. So you can say I do whatever you want.
Yeah, but I don't want to like make you do
I mean,
stuff
you
that's
can
not in character.
Ask if it's within reasonable for them, and they can
Okay.
say, yeah, that's within the realm of, you know what I mean?
Okay, then yeah, I
You
would
can
totally.
collaborate between each other for your solutions. It's not like straight up dictatorial. Am I making sense?
Mhm.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I could definitely see myself doing that.
And how many people can the broom take?
I don't think it specifies in Pathfinder.
I think it's just one.
This is 5th. Ah, that's inconvenient. Hmm.
I mean, it's just an uncommon item, so.
Oh, I know. We send Reagan with her own calm emotions up, and then she just comes back, and there's like a faint smell of smoke or something, and they're all dead, and we don't get followed anymore.
Well,
I like it.
That's in character, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Cool. All right. So then we find out that not only were that one of the people that threw themselves off the ship was the navigator, and they took the map with them, and we are slightly lost.
Oh man.
Aku, you want to try this?
That was I said the
Oh, you
first
just
one.
did this. Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Sorry.
You're good.
Rokas, you want to try?
So I have to basically come up with a solution and then make up a new
Problem.
crop.
Yep.
Okay, just for disclosure, restless in all these situations, no matter what, because he'll be vomiting. He'll be very ill. Because of his motion sickness. But okay, what was the problem again? Sorry. We're lost.
Our navigator threw themselves overboard with the map, so we don't have a map. And what do you think? Do we have a navigator? No, let's say they died. Rip.
Rip party.
So only the navigator for himself off then.
I mean, a couple other people, I think, but the navigator was maybe the only one that was really relevant. I don't know.
Okay. One of the party members will try and find a person, maybe the navigator's assistant, because that's usually a thing. I'm pretty sure ships have like a backup map. So maybe someone else would go look for that. Yeah, that's a pretty hard situation. I have no idea.
Alright, I'm gonna save you here, Rokus.
Yes.
Your handy dandy cleric of Talos was an ex-pirate with navigator tools.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay.
And is proficient in them.
How convenient.
Okay. There we go. That's my answer. Okay. I'm gonna do an easy one. After getting lost, after many days of getting lost because someone decided to keep some really important information to themselves. The ship is on a shortage of food, and it will run out soon. And I will choose Trevelyan.
Shortage of food. We stop by a nearby island. The group goes on a boat and we hunt down some colossal deer and we skin it and prep it, and we have several weeks worth of food from it. I have to come up with a problem now.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
The world blows up.
Wow.
Maybe a week after leaving the island, we find a stowaway, a druid that is angered that we killed one of the like worshipped animals of the island, and they curse us. Who hasn't gone?
Right,
Me. An actual curse or just verbal curse?
I guess an actual curse.
I don't think we're high enough to deal with that yet. What's the curse?
That until we can come up with some sort of amends for what we've done, that all meat will rot at our touch.
Oh no.
No, not the food.
Okay, amends for killing their sacred deer, huh?
Yup.
Then I would cure. I'm not skilled at this. I'd offer the, or one of us, whoever is able to do it, even if we have to get someone that's on the ship, to offer up the last of the skin from the deer to the druid, as well as the bones to be buried and honored properly at the next island. As our appeasement, and if she feels that isn't enough, well, we help plant trees. One of which gets struck by lightning as we leave. But you know, that's something that I choose to ignore.
It's a clear blue sky, and a stroke of lightning just hits a tree.
Yeah. So I guess the only one left that hasn't answered the question is Aku. So my question for you, Aku, is... we get hit by a
Yes.
hurricane.
Oh.
Wow, way to softball.
Sorry.
And anything specific
Damn.
happen, or we just get hit?
There's a hurricane. How do we survive it?
We're in a tornado, Aku. We're in a tornado.
Okay, so clearly, since we have an ex-pirate in our midst, we all look to her for answers, and she takes the helm. She starts barking out orders, do this, do that, just because I don't know anything about boats. And with her experience, we managed to avoid the worst of the damages.
Hey!
Nice.
Ryder's character was an all-star for our
This
montage.
montage.
Awesome. I like using those because it sort of ties narratives together with your participation and without resorting to any unnecessary hacky stuff. You guys like those? Are those something that we should do?
I like them so much, I'm going to start using them.
Awesome.
I loved that.
Maybe I'll start using them as well.
Yeah, those are a super cool GM thing because it's like, okay, we have to travel. I don't want to do random encounters or a bunch of skill checks. Let's tell a story instead. It's one of my favorite things. So if you guys enjoyed those, I will definitely make sure that that's how we do travel or other parts where normally you would do, like I said, random encounters or silly shenanigans like. That is all that I had planned for our session 0. We can pick up next week with our proper session 1, starting off on our actual ship.
Sounds good.
Yay!
Nice.
I am super excited for this, you guys. You guys are the group that I was actually
Dreamed
looking
of.
for, and I'm super excited to like actually have found you. That sounds lame, but I'm excited.
No, Megs, we found each other.
You're such a dork.
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording for the 5th time.